And good evening, everyone. I'm Scott Agnes of FieldhouseFiles.com. Fever had about a day and a half off as they resumed practice Sunday evening at Salesforce Court after playing on back-to-back days that allowed for them to enjoy Saturday off. Now, before practice here on Sunday, a couple news items of note. First of all, Caitlin Clark, top vote getter for WNBA All-Star Game. And Nafisa Collier finished in second with 1.2 and 1.1 million votes, respectively. Blew out the number of votes they got just 2 years ago as a combined league, which, again, is another indication of the trajectory of the league and how Caitlin and others have helped make this a rocket ship forward here. And the WNBA All-Star Game, of course, will be held right here at Gainbridge Fieldhouse coming up on Saturday, July 19, 3 weeks from now. But until then, a lot more on the Fever's agenda. They have a road game at Minnesota coming up on Tuesday night for the WNBA Commissioner's Cup, a championship on the line, a meaningful game on the line, and for the players, a $500,000 player pool purse that they would split among all the players. So
Caitlin Clark is back, and she's not just easing into practice, she's making headlines before even stepping into a game. After days of speculation and silence surrounding her limited role and possible injury, Clark returned to the court with her usual sharp energy, but it wasn't just her movement that grabbed attention, it was what she said afterward. In a single press session, she reminded everyone that she's not here to ride the wave of fame or collect trophies for popularity. She's here to win. And her statement, delivered with quiet confidence, sent shockwaves through the locker room, the league, and the fan base. While most rookies might hold back, Caitlin made it clear that patience isn't her game. This wasn't just a return, it was a warning. As the Commissioner's Cup approaches and the pressure mounts, the biggest question now isn't whether she's ready. It's whether the league is ready for her.
All kinds of incentives right there. More than that, though, we also saw Caitlin Clark will have her first player exclusive shoe released Monday morning by Nike. So you want to check the sneakers app if you want to take advantage of that. But man, that's going to be gone in a couple of minutes. It's a version of the Kobe 5. She loves the 5s and the 6s. And speaking of Caitlin, we saw her back out on Salesforce Court. She's still limited in what she can do, according to head coach Stephanie White. Did non-contact work, did shooting drills, moved around comfortably from the limited time we were able to see there, was having fun, was her normal jovial self out on the court as they finished up practice with timed shooting. And then afterward, we were able to talk with several individuals, Stephanie White, Caitlin Clark, and Kelsey Mitchell, about All-Star voting, about returning to action with meaningful games coming up with the Commissioner Cup, and of course, Caitlin's health. So come inside Indiana Fever practice with me.
The Indiana Fever's Sunday evening practice wasn't supposed to be a spectacle, but it quickly became one the moment Caitlin Clark stepped onto the court. After days of limited activity and cautious updates from the coaching staff, fans, and reporters finally got what they'd been waiting for: visual confirmation that Clark was back. She moved with a quiet determination, running through non-contact drills, launching smooth jumpers, and flashing that signature confidence that made her a household name long before her first WNBA game. But this wasn't a full-speed return. According to head coach Stephanie White, Clark was still restricted to shooting and light movement. No scrimmaging, no high-intensity drills. White described it as progressing slowly, with an emphasis on preventing setbacks. It was the kind of cautious language that fuels more questions than answers. Why the delay? What exactly is the injury? And most importantly, why does the league's most valuable player feel like she's being handled with kid gloves? Even from the sidelines, Clark's presence shifted the energy in the gym. Teammates fed off her spirit. Reporters followed her every move. Fans waited for video clips and headlines, craving reassurance that their favorite star wasn't being shelved in the middle of her rookie momentum. But it wasn't just the physical return that mattered, it was the tone she set. With her attitude, she was upbeat, smiling, and fully present. But there was an unmistakable edge beneath it all. A message, unspoken but clear: I'm still here, and I'm not going to be held back. This brief appearance at practice wasn't about minutes or stats. It was about presence. Caitlin Clark didn't need to suit up to dominate the narrative. Just being there with eyes focused, jumper locked in, and fire in her voice was enough to remind the league that even at half speed, she's still the center of gravity. After her brief practice session, Caitlin Clark stepped in front of the microphones with her usual calm. Everyone expected the typical injury update, maybe a few words about taking it day by day or staying positive. But what she delivered caught the entire room off guard.
It's a huge opportunity for us. We're going to go in there and they have a great crowd, great environment, a team that's very experienced with one another, have been in the finals, have been in big situations, won the Commissioner Cup last year. So I think it's a really great opportunity for us to go in there and, see what we're made of, have a little pressure, but also just go out there and play our game. Just know that you don't have to play any different than we have been playing, and, personnel will be really important, but, we're certainly excited to go out there and try to play for something and get the win.
No fluff, no deflection, just a pointed reminder that being sidelined isn't part of her plan. It wasn't just what she said did, it was how she said it. There was no frustration in her voice, but there was a sense of urgency. It wasn't a jab at the coaching staff or the medical team, but it was clear that Clark was making a statement. She's not satisfied with being treated like a delicate asset. She's here to compete, to lead, and to bring Indiana wins. Sit on the bench smiling for cameras. That single sentence instantly reshaped the conversation. The media stopped talking about timelines and shifted to tone. Fans lit up social media, debating whether she was calling out the organization or just voicing her competitive spirit. But deep down, everyone knew the truth. This wasn't just a rookie being eager. This was a star reminding the world she's wired differently. The timing of her words couldn't have been more perfect. With the Commissioner's Cup approaching and Indiana still trying to find its identity, Clark's message became a rallying cry. She's not content to ride the hype or coast on jersey sales. Her priorities are clear. If she's going to be the face of the league, she's going to do it by winning games, not headlines. This wasn't just an update, it was a warning, a message to teammates, coaches, and maybe even the league itself. Caitlin Clark is not here to be babied through a rebuilding process. She came to dominate, and whether she's at 100% or not, she's already demanding the respect of a veteran. While fans were still processing Caitlin Clark's statement from practice, Nike was quietly preparing to detonate a different kind of headline. Early the next morning, her first ever player-exclusive shoe dropped on the SNKRS app. It wasn't just any release. This was a bold signal from Nike, choosing to model the shoe after the iconic Kube 5 Clark's personal favorite. Sleek design, custom details, and a colorway that screamed confidence. It had all the markings of a future classic. And just like that, it was gone. The shoe sold out in minutes, not hours. Minutes. The app crashed for some, others got waitlisted, and many were left staring at the sold-out screen, wondering how fast they had to be to grab a piece of history. The demand wasn't just impressive, it was proof. Caitlin Clark has already crossed into a territory few athletes reach: cultural relevance. She's not just playing in the WNBA, she's reshaping it. The speed of the sellout exposed something deeper. While the league often touts team-first values, Caitlin's marketability is blazing a path that doesn't wait for approval. Brands are sprinting to be part of her story, even as the league cautiously figures out how to handle her meteoric rise. She hasn't even completed half a season, and yet she's already become the WNBA's most bankable star. This sneaker drop wasn't about footwear, it was a referendum on her impact. Nike didn't need a full season of stats to greenlight her release. They saw what everyone else saw: an athlete who moves product, drives headlines, and carries herself with undeniable magnetism. While critics debate her minutes or her shot selection, the world outside the arena is already treating her like royalty. In that moment, Caitlin Clark didn't just return to practice, she planted her flag. And the sneaker world responded with a standing ovation. The WNBA might still be catching up to her gravity, but corporate America? They're already all in. While Caitlin Clark's star continues to rise off the court, the Indiana Fever are still figuring out how to keep up with her on it. Her return to limited practice sparked optimism, but it also highlighted a lingering problem. Clark is moving faster than the system around her. She's generating record-breaking buzz, selling out sneakers, and dominating fan voting. Yet on the court, she's still restricted, both physically and strategically. Head coach Stephanie White has repeatedly emphasized caution, reminding the media that Clark is progressing slowly and limited to non-contact work. While that may be standard protocol, it's hard to ignore the disconnect between Clark's readiness to lead and the team's hesitant approach. The system seems designed for a player still learning the ropes, not someone already reshaping the league's attention span. It's not just the medical pace that's holding her back. The Fever's offensive schemes often look clunky with Clark on the floor. Plays seem to slow down when she should be speeding them up. Rather than building around her strengths, quick decision-making, deep shooting range, and elite court vision, team appears to be forcing her into roles that don't fit her game, and she's noticed. Her subtle comments about adversity, finding rhythm, and the desire to just be out there and win all hint at deeper frustrations. Teammates like Kelsey Mitchell praise her impact, and the locker room clearly respects her presence, but respect alone doesn't win games. Chemistry is still inconsistent, rotations are shaky, and the longer Clark is kept on a leash, whether due to injury protocol or rigid game plans, the more fans and analysts will question the team's direction. Clark didn't come into the league to play it safe. She came to elevate her team, push the pace, and win. If Indiana continues to lag behind her natural tempo, they risk doing more than slowing her down. They risk wasting the early prime of a generational talent. And once that window closes, it doesn't reopen, while Caitlin Clark's return stole the spotlight. There's another storyline boiling just beneath the surface, one that could define the Indiana Fever's season. On Tuesday night, they face off against the Minnesota Lynx in the WNBA Commissioner's Cup. It's more than just another game. This matchup comes with a $500,000 prize pool for the players and a shot at claiming their first major team accolade since Clark joined the roster. But oddly enough, no one seems to be talking about it. Head coach Stephanie White admitted that, for most players, the money has been top of mind, not the milestone, and that's telling. For a team still trying to find its identity, the Commissioner's Cup should be a rallying point, a chance to bond, to earn respect, to prove they're not just a marketing machine riding Clark's coattails. But the stakes seem oddly muted, almost like the team is unsure whether they're ready for the moment. Clark, however, sees it differently. She described the game as a gut check test to measure where the team truly stands. Her mindset has never been about collecting checks or padding stats. It's about competing with purpose. She knows this game matters more than the Fever are letting on. It's not just an opportunity to win. It's a stage to send a message to the league that they're no longer rebuilding, they're arriving. Lynx are a seasoned, battle-tested squad. They've been in these moments before. They won the Commissioner's Cup last year. Indiana, on the other hand, is new to this kind of spotlight. But that's exactly why the pressure is so important. If the Fever rise to the occasion, it validates Clark's leadership and signals a cultural shift. If they fold, it feeds the narrative that the team isn't ready to support its star. This isn't just a game, it's a mirror. And how the Fever respond could define the second half of their season and Caitlin Clark's influence within it. From the outside, Caitlin Clark appears unshakable, smiling in interviews, cracking jokes with teammates, and keeping things light despite the enormous pressure. But beneath that calm exterior is a relentless competitor, managing one of the toughest psychological challenges in professional sports, staying mentally sharp while being physically limited. It's not just about recovering from soreness or easing back into play. It's about maintaining identity, leadership, and hunger when the game you love is temporarily out of reach. Clark spoke candidly about how she's handling it. She emphasized taking things day by day, staying close with the medical staff, and doing whatever she can to be ready for the next game. But her words also revealed a deeper layer, one of resilience and quiet intensity. She praised the team for sticking together through adversity, highlighting how everyone has faced obstacles this season, from injuries to unexpected coaching absences. And through it all, they've shown up with energy, grit, and a shared sense of purpose. This type of mindset isn't easy to maintain, especially for someone used to being the engine of every team she's ever led. For Clark, not being able to fully play means finding new ways to lead. She's using her voice more, staying vocal during practice, and supporting teammates from the sidelines. It may not be the spotlight she wants, but it's the role she's embraced for now. What fans often miss is how much mental toughness it takes to navigate moments like these. The cameras may only capture the three-pointers and the shoe drops. But behind the scenes, it's the ability to stay focused through frustration that separates stars from legends. Clark isn't just weathering a physical recovery, she's managing the mental toll of being expected to carry a franchise before she's even fully unleashed, and the way she's doing it with composure, clarity, and fierce determination might be the most impressive part of her game so far. As Caitlin Clark racks up accolades, headlines, and record-breaking fan support, a difficult question keeps surfacing: are the Indiana Fever unintentionally holding her back? She's already proven she can handle pressure, drive ticket sales, sell out shoes, and take command of a national spotlight. But when it comes to her actual role on the court, things feel strangely cautious. She's still being described as day-to-day, limited in practice, and slowly reintegrated into the lineup. To some, it looks like the team is protecting her. To others, it looks like they're restraining her. There's a fine line between being careful and being fearful. Every franchise wants to avoid injury setbacks with their top player, especially a rookie. But Clark isn't just any rookie. She's the central figure in the WNBA's surge of attention. Fans didn't come to see her cautiously participate in non-contact drills. They came to watch her compete, lead, and elevate the team. And if she's medically cleared to play, why does it still feel like she's only half involved? The tension isn't just about health, it's about philosophy. Clark thrives in fast-paced, dynamic systems that give her the freedom to shoot from deep, create off the dribble, and control the tempo. But the Fever haven't fully adjusted to that style. Instead of building around her strengths, they seem to be asking her to fit into an old model that doesn't match her skill set. And when a talent like hers is forced into a box, it doesn't just limit production, it stifles momentum. Clark's recent comments, her desire to win, her acknowledgement of adversity, her refusal to coast suggest she's ready for more. The question is whether Indiana is prepared to give it to her. Every game they delay, every opportunity they hesitate on, risks wasting her prime years. She's not just a rising star, she's a once-in-a-generation athlete. And if the Fever won't let her lead at full capacity, another team eventually will. The next few weeks will define not only Caitlin Clark's rookie season, but potentially the entire trajectory of the Indiana Fever. The Commissioner's Cup game, the All-Star Weekend, and her ongoing return to full strength are all converging into a pressure-filled stretch. And how the team handles it, how they handle her, could either cement a culture of growth or expose cracks that have been quietly forming all season. Clark has already shown the world that she's built for this stage. She's sold out arenas, broken voting records, and become the centerpiece of every WNBA conversation. But now, the narrative shifts. It's no longer just about popularity or promise. It's about results. Can Indiana win meaningful games with her at the helm? Will the coaching staff finally adapt the system to match her style? Can the team respond to her leadership with the same urgency she's demanding from herself? The Commissioner's Cup is more than just a trophy or a payout. It's a moment to plant a flag. If the Fever come out swinging, it sends a clear message. They're not just riding the wave of Clark's fame, they're building something real. But if they falter, the criticism will come hard and fast, not just for the players, but for the decision-makers who continue to play it safe while Clark is begging to push forward. There's also the looming question of the All-Star game. Clark will be the captain, essentially handpicking her team. It's a playful honor on the surface, but it also gives her a rare position of influence. She'll have the chance to showcase what a team molded around her vision looks like, even if only for one game. And if that team flourishes under her leadership, the implications for Indiana will be impossible to ignore. Every pass, every decision, every minute on the floor now carries more weight, because Caitlin Clark's presence is no longer a novelty, it's a force. And if the Fever aren't ready to fully unleash it, they may soon find themselves chasing a star that was theirs to lead. Caitlin Clark's return to practice wasn't just a step forward in her recovery, it was a turning point in the Fever's season, and maybe even the WNBA's future. From the moment she laced up her sneakers again, all eyes were back on her. But it wasn't the jump shots or the limited drills that sparked the biggest reaction. It was her message. Clear, direct, unapologetic. She didn't come to sit quietly or settle into a slow rebuild. She came to win, and she said so out loud. The league has never seen a rookie quite like her. She's redefining what it means to be a franchise player before even playing a full season. And while brands, fans, and headlines have already crowned her the future of the sport, the The real test now lies with the Indiana Fever. Will they give her the freedom and system to thrive, or continue playing it safe while her potential burns at half capacity? The next few games, the All-Star Weekend, and every decision surrounding her role will echo far beyond this season. Because Clark isn't just a marketing sensation, she's a leader in the making. Carry more than just expectations. She's ready to carry a team. Whether the Fever rise with her or fall behind may be the defining story of this era in women's basketball. But one thing is already clear: Caitlin Clark has made her move. She's back, she's speaking up, and she's done waiting. Now it's up to everyone else to catch up.